Trying to think on nerves. What I've said for a long time is kind of just immersion. So I think sometimes I think the primary reason that I don't get nervous anymore is because I've just been playing for so long. So when you have been queuing for ranked games for 15 years straight, it's kind of hard to be nervous about it anymore. But I also feel like to some degree it might come down to like other factors. It's all in the mind, obviously, right? So maybe it sounds corny, but some level of meditation would probably be helpful. Reflecting upon why you feel nervous, like what is making you nervous? What do you actually fear happening in this space? Is it frustration that you don't know what's going on? Is it fear that you're going to lose your points? Why are you attached to those points, right? You kind of have to explore those own things in your mind. Does that make sense? Does that help at all? Like it's usually not a problem with like Tekken. It's usually like a you thing that you could work on independently of Tekken. Do you get nervous when you have to deliver a presentation? And if so, like what do you fear is going to happen in that situation? How do you make sure that doesn't happen? Or how do you be okay with it potentially happening? Right. Yeah. So what I'm sensing from chat is that there is like there's two things going on. So someone said that they are afraid that their rank won't reflect the time that they've invested into the game. So what I hear there is two things. There's like a sense of entitlement, and I'm not trying to be rude to anybody, but like the idea that like, oh, I've played for this many weeks, I should be X, instead I am Y, is like an entitled mindset. Like that's what that is. And the other thing is like a sense of embarrassment, like a judgment being passed on you. Like, oh, wow, this person's been playing for this many months and they're still here. Like, right? I think you have to remember that this is not a team sport. So whatever the person next to you thinks of your play does not matter. Fuck them. Like, you're on this journey together, and if it's a long road, if it's a short road, it doesn't really matter so long as you're enjoying the drive, right? If you don't want to be on this road, if this isn't where you want to go, then you shouldn't be here. But if you can enjoy the process of just playing the game and being like, oh, I got hit like that, you know, that's something to keep in mind for next time. Another thing is that like getting hit is not a bad thing. Like when I get hit right there, I'm not like, oh no, I got hit, I should be embarrassed right now. It's like, okay, this person did a move, it beat the thing that I did. Fighting games are rock, paper, scissors. I'm not gonna like be correct 100% of the time. That's not possible. I'm a human being. So you have to treat yourself like you're a human being who's worthy of compassion and respect. Like, think about it. Like, you would probably never go to somebody else and be like, wow, you've been playing for 3 months and you're still in the yellow ranks? Like, what the fuck are you doing, right? You would never do that. So why would you respect another person who tells you that? Fuck that person. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck? I promise you, like, I was talking to Tricky about this. This was one of the things that came up on the, I want to say podcast, but it wasn't a podcast. Let me do this combo. Boop, boop, boop. Hey. One of the things that came up was she said that she was, she learned to play Virtua Fighter from Virtua Fighter 4. It had like a tutorial that was in the game. And I asked her, before you played that Virtua Fighter 4 tutorial, did you have... do you feel like you had any talent for fighting games? Like, were you intuiting things that were strong? Were you able to figure things out, piece them out together on your own? Or was it only after it was explained to you that you started to get really good? And she said the same thing that was true of my experience, which is neither one of us felt we had any talent for the genre at all when we started. Everything had to be explained to us from the ground up. When we started, like now I have a knowledge base that I can grow and learn from. But like somebody who's won 2 combo breakers in one of the hardest fighting games that has ever been made is saying that she had no talent for fighting games at all, right? So if like even the best of the best players are players that started from literal nothing, then you have to expect the same for yourself, right? I'm not saying like you're entitled with a negative connotation. I'm not passing a judgment on you. I'm just looking at the statement. Like, if the statement is, I have played for this many months, I should be here, but instead I'm here, that is a statement of entitlement. I'm not saying you're entitled. I'm just saying that is an entitled mindset. That's what that is. I remember one of my earlier videos, I had I don't remember which one it was, but there was a guide that I made, and somebody commented. They were like, "Hey, what's the highest you've ever gotten to in Tekken before?" And I was like, "Well, in Tekken 7, I was red rank, and I think at that time I was also red rank in this game." So I was like, "About these red ranks, you know?" And they were like, "Oh, well, you know, with all due respect, I play Smash Ultimate, and I was able to become a purple rank in just a couple of weeks. Like, why would you be on here teaching people if you aren't at least as good as me?" And I was like, "Well, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about you," is the reason. It was the same thing that I kind of told to Landon, because Landon is a professional player, and he was on Twitter, and he was talking about like, "Hey, you know, I understand my perspective skewed because all of my friends are literally professional fighting game players. But sometimes, you know, I want to make tutorial content and I don't feel like I'm good enough to do it." And I told him on Twitter, I made a comment that was like, "Hey, you're literally in the top 5% easily, like free. You're in the top 5% of Tekken players ever, for sure. And like, if you, like, just think about it, right? You want to go learn a martial art. You walk into the room and your teacher walks out and it's not Jackie Chan. Are you gonna be like, "What the fuck? I paid money for this. Like, why are you not Jackie Chan? Like, who are you?" And they're like, "Oh, my name's John. Like, I've been studying this martial art for the past 10 years. Like, I feel like, you know, I'm really passionate about this. I have studied under so-and-so and so-and-so." And you're like, "Well, neither of those people are Jackie Chan." Like, you know, are you gonna walk out of that? Or are you gonna be like, "Okay, well, maybe this person isn't literally at the pinnacle of this topic, but they probably know more than I do. They've been around longer," you know? I said to Landon, like, 99% of people on the planet have not played Tekken at all. Period. So if you're going to deny yourself the ability of helping over 99% of the people because there are some people out there that are theoretically stronger than you, like, that's like a detriment to the world. Like, that sucks. Like, the world would be a better place if you were able to help people uninhibited. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, you can make content at any level. Like, if I'm literally a professional, then I can talk to people about not just mastery of the game and probably my character, but I could also talk to them about, like, what goes into tournament preparation, what is going into my note taking, how do I practice, who do I practice with, how do I balance practice in the training room with practical application in matches and replaying and replay reviews. Like, how do I balance all of those things? Do you feel like diet is important? Like, you know, you're able to do all of that stuff. And then if you're like Johnny Schmoney, you've never played Tekken before in your life, like, you could still make content. Maybe that content isn't educational, but it can be relatable. It's like, "Hey, you know, I've been playing this game for the past like few weeks. I'm having a lot of fun, and I learned this, and this. This is really exciting." And then, you know who loves that type of shit? Tekken players. Like, think about how popular reaction content is. And all reaction content is just being able to empathize with somebody who is experiencing a similar thing to what you've already experienced, right? It's like, "Oh, this person's reacting to this YouTube video. I remember I watched that and I laughed a lot. I wonder if this person's gonna laugh a lot." You know what I mean?